I want to hit the story about elections yesterday. You likely know that President Trump did a pretty big rally in Kentucky just prior to yesterday's elections. And one of the elections, one of the main characters he was there defending was the governor, the then governor Bevin, who was up for re-election. And as I left the House today, Bevin had not yet conceded. But it appears that the Democrat won. So I want to talk a little bit about the elections, what they mean and what to watch for, because I actually think these have huge consequence. First of all the left-wing outlets are just pouncing on the fact that Bevin apparently lost. So they're saying, oh my gosh, Trump's magic is gone. This proves it. No one cares what Trump thinks. He probably hurt Bevin. He shouldn't have showed up. Bevin's a bad guy. Trump doesn't have the clout everyone thinks he does. So they're ready just to pile on Trump because Bevin lost. I don't know Bevin, Matt Bevin, the governor. I don't know him. I do know that there are many, many stories, even preceding the election, that he was way down in personal popularity, among his state. In fact, there was a poll among all governors in the state, in America, saying, how popular is your governor? And he came out dead last, like the smallest percentage of Kentuckians had a favorable impression of their governor, lowest of all. So he's unpopular. He's apparently a brusque, I don't know what words you'd use, but he's not a warm, fuzzy guy. He's a little bit confrontational, a little bit abrasive. He's not, or maybe a lot abrasive. And so there's a personal dislike factor. But I want to urge you not to read into his loss if he did lose. Don't read into it what the media is trying to tell you to read into it. Recognize that also in Kentucky, because many people were up for election, there was a victory in Kentucky for the Attorney General. And the Attorney General victor in Kentucky is named Daniel Cameron. He's a Republican who won the Attorney General race. So he wins this race yesterday. Daniel Cameron elected Kentucky's first African American Attorney General. So the voters in Kentucky, the Republican voters, brought this guy, Daniel Cameron, victory as a black Republican for the first African-American Attorney General in Kentucky. Also, that's the Attorney General. Also, the Lieutenant Governor, the second in command, is a black Republican. Of the 5 of 6 races that went on in Kentucky yesterday, the Republican won 5 of them, several of them very handily. The point being, do not buy into what the left's trying to say. This is it. Trump is toast, and now he doesn't have the influence he used to. You have to be a good candidate. You have to be a good elected official. Among the many things that people said about Reagan in the years that Reagan ran and why he won over so many Democrats, he spoke in common sense terms, folksy, friendly, and everybody liked him. It matters. It helps a candidate to be likable. Bevin, for whatever reasons he has, and he might just say that he's unfairly characterized, but he's known as being not real friendly, not warm fuzzy, kind of an abrasive guy, and he wasn't popular. And the last time he won was by it was a hair-splitting victory. It wasn't like he just trounced his opponent last time he ran. So just don't read too much into that Kentucky governor's race. Second point I want to make is that the Mississippi Republican won. The Mississippi gubernatorial candidate won. He also won with a surprise victory somewhat. He was down a few weeks ago. His name is Tate Reeves. Surprisingly close race, but he won in Mississippi, and so that was good. But the other race I want to mention, and just kind of in closing out this discussion of the races yesterday, is what's really in the ballot in 2020, and what I'm going to get to tomorrow, we're going to talk about the entire show tomorrow, is what does it mean if America turns blue? What does turning blue mean for a state, for even a city, and to America? And to get to what it means to turn blue, we're going to talk about California, because California is the premier blue state. In fact, many of the elections they have out there, because they have the system in place where if you have a bunch of people running, the top 2 vote getters go to the runoff, not the top Democrat and the top Republican. Republicans hardly even get to the point of getting to run for anything in California. So California is very blue, very Democrat, falling apart, disastrously so. And I want to talk about that tomorrow, because the Democrats are doing a victory lap in this country today, because in the state of Virginia, right outside Washington, D.C., we had the Democrats took control of the Virginia legislature. and they already have the governor's office. So in Virginia, right next to Washington, the Democrats are going to try to start pushing all of the agenda items they really like. Gun control. They're already a sanctuary. Various jurisdictions are a sanctuary city, sanctuary county. They're probably going to move toward being a sanctuary state. They've spent tons of money in Virginia, to bring about this victory. And this is now a victory for the entire state. So they're going to be pushing for become a sanctuary state. They're going to be pushing gun control. They're going to be pushing expansion of Medicaid. Every single government program to expand the power and role and scope of the government will be on the table in Virginia. And so it's a beginning of watching what happens when countries turn blue or states turn blue. But I want to hit tomorrow and talk about what that really means, because despite the Democrats' victory lap in Virginia, the truth is it's a horrible thing to live in a blue state. It's a horrible thing. California is falling apart because it's a blue state, because of blue state policies. And Californians who actually work for a living, get paid, and pay taxes are leaving California because they can see what blue state policies do. We have to get in 2020 into the place we recognize we're talking about a blue state America or a red state America. We're talking blue America, red America. We're talking about freedom and not freedom. We're talking about the radical leftists who have taken over the Democrat Party, taken over this country. We cannot stand for that. We must fight every race, and from school district, as you're hearing from Andrew Pollack, the author of the book about the shooting at the high school in Florida in 2018. We have to be fighting our school district seats, every level of government. Recognize the left is on a mission to truly, radically transform this country to a government-controlled society. Your freedom will be gone if the Democrats take control. And so we're going to talk about that tomorrow.